Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and we're going to be looking at 5 teams, plus one bonus. Now we're going to be looking at 5 teams, plus a bonus one that are good at low gear. Now let me preface this with what I mean when I say low gear. Low gear doesn't necessarily mean gear 8s. At this day and age, oh, there's our king, guys. We're going to take a quick break from that, because we need to pay homage to our king, Wampa. If you guys want to see Wampa hit Relic 8 live on stream, all you need to do, get this channel 5,000 subscribers. We hit 5,000, Wampa will have a special live stream where we Relic 8 him, do some other fun stuff, so make sure you guys keep on supporting this channel. Guys, it is free to subscribe. It does not cost you anything. So, let's get back into our topic. Low gear does not mean gear 8. At this stage in the game, low gear to me is anything gear 12 to even gear 11, non-relic. Maybe non-relic is a better way to say it, but to me that's low gear, right? At this point in time, guys, you know, with Rise of the Empire here, I mean, with the amount of relic requirements in there, I really think that low gear is anything below relics. So let's dive into our listing again, because maybe a good way to say it too is that everything outside of Kyrotex was accelerated below gear 12, I think. So getting to gear 12, gear 13, you know, gear 12 is not hard anymore. I really think that's a very, very easy way to, you know, easy thing to do at this point. So let's dive into our list, guys. Let's go down here. Got him down here. And the first thing we're going to start off with is Emperor Palpatine, Darth Vader, Mara Jade, the Empire. These characters don't need a ton of gear on them. As much as I say that they love gear, like Darth Vader loves gear, if you run these 3 characters, I mean, even Darth Vader you could run, you know, outside of that, but these guys at, you know, gear 11-ish will still run turn meter trains on people. As long as you make Mara Jade fast enough, under Emperor Palpatine lead, she's going to gain enough turn meter to just continually train people. I think Darth Vader at lower gear fits in really nice with this team because the damage, you're not going to have as much damage from Mara Jade, so you're going to need that insurance that your turn meter loop continues. And that's what Vader can do with that Force Crush, right? He can throw Force Crush, and then, because Palpatine lead, if you guys remember, whenever a debuff expires, they gain 5% turn meter. So when Darth Vader throws that Culling Blade, and if he dispels, you know, 6 debuffs or more, I mean, that's, you know, additional 30% turn meter for the team, really going to juice them up, guys. So, this team, really, really good at lower gear. You're going to be able to, you know, as long as you can outrun people with Mara Jade, you're going to be able to punch out pretty well with this team. Because they will never get a turn. You can, like, make sure of that. Alright, the next one here. Exposes plus Chupio, the Commander Luke Skywalker team. This is a fantastic team at, you know, gear 11, gear 12. They do a lot of really good things. And that's because one of the biggest reasons is Chupio's unique here. Where when the allied leader is a rebel, they gain 40% of that leader's max health, protection, offense, defense, potency, and tenacity at the start of the encounter, and other allies gain, and rebel allies gain half of that amount. That's basically another gear level. When you sit that, like, at relic levels, that's even more so. But there you have, like, gear 10 characters like this, and you have 3PO and Chewie with that unique ability. I mean, you're looking at basically adding another gear level, which is, that's significant. Like, you think about the gear that could save you. The other thing is that when you have C-3PO in this team, you remember he is on his unique ability here. Where is it at? I forget which one. Is it Cyborg Relations? Yeah. So whenever a Rebel or Ewok ally uses their basic, they inflict Expose for 2 turns. Guys, remember, Expose deals damage equal to the target's max health. So if you're fighting a higher level team and you're attacking with Exposes, you're going to deal damage based on their max health, not your team's. And in my personal opinion, that is so important for this team. Those Exposes are what allow them to really chew through some of those characters. So you don't need as much gear on them at times, because as long as you're getting that exposed damage from C-3PO, you're going to be doing work. I want to stop here just for a second and say this. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't be investing in these characters and putting relics on them. I'm simply saying that their mechanics work at lower gear, right? I want to make that known again, that it's just the mechanics for the team work at lower gear, just they're going to work better if you have relics on them. So let's keep on moving down the list. All right, the Sith Triumverate. I almost didn't put them on here because you do want relics, especially with the Trio Omicron, but honestly, Gear 12 works for this team. At Gear 12, these three, you can take on some fully relic Geonosian teams at times, as long as you've got good mods on them, right? Let's make sure you understand that. You do want good mods if you're not going to have as much gear, but this team is very capable of taking out Geonosians. Again, if you have some other Sith in there, it's going to help you. They're a team that I used at Gear 12 for a long time. They really are just, they've got a lot of good mechanics that isolate from Treya. They're going to be healing whenever they're attacking an enemy with debuffs on them, so you're really able to keep them alive pretty well, because they're going to also cleanse, so even like healing immunity, unless it's a locked healing immunity, it's not going to work, so this is a fantastic team. Alright guys, the Imperial Troopers, the A team, right? The A team Imperial Troopers, Veers, Piet, Dark Trooper, Range Trooper. Even at like Gear 10 average, these guys do work because there's so many buffs that you can get that they'll still be able to run a train around people. Understand this though. I'm going to put this, this needs to be said. If you're trying to take out a super high relic boss and he happens to get taunt off, you're going to struggle at lower gear. You really need them to be faster. You can't afford for the enemy to take that first turn. You need to be able to target the weakest person right away and take them out, because otherwise you're not going to get enough turn meter. You really need that turn meter train to go, and you're going to need to rely on those kills. Now the B team Imperial Troopers, right, with Iden Versio, I mean, I could slap an Omicron on Iden, maybe a few more gear levels, and I'd have a pretty solid offensive team here if I was completely honest. I just haven't been willing to do that yet. Maybe I will now because I've got her leveled and geared it up a little bit, but still not ready to give her Kyratex. The big thing with this team, guys, is that offensively, this is the way I would use them. I would not place this on defense, but on offense, absolutely, I think they can do a lot of really good things. Probably take out some Commander Luke Skywalker teams, even with this gear level, simply because Iden is that good, right? That's just the way that she works. Then you have your flex options, and this is something I wanted to iterate, that you can kind of put whatever characters you need inside of these teams and get that use out of them. And so for me, and the way I look at it, this is kind of the core of that, is you could throw Colonel Stark up here, Colonel Stark down here, Moff Gideon, up here, wherever you need him to go. It's kind of the way that I've viewed these teams, right? There's these flex options for these Imperial Troopers. Both are good with low gear for different reasons. This team up here, all about buffs and turn meter. This team, really about those swarm attacks. You get a single kill, and then you use Death Troopers, Death Mark, and you're going to crush people. It's amazing, guys. And before we get to the final team, I wanted to just take a second and say that if you notice, there's a couple of Empire teams on here. That the Empire with low gear is actually pretty good. They've got, just because of the way they're a very mechanic heavy, they're probably the most mechanic heavy faction in the game, right? That they really, this team is all about survivability because Iden will keep everybody alive. Just, yeah, really, really good. But the last team here, Geonosians, guys, I gotta give credit where it's due. I'm not the biggest fan of Geos, but with low gear, even at Gear 12 for these guys, this not only beats the Wat Tambor mission for their ships. These are great gear levels. I still beat a lot of different teams with this. Again, they'd be much better with relics. Let's not pretend that that's not the case. They'd be much better with relics. But even at this level, guys, they're still doing a lot of good things. And if you're a lower level player, you get them at Gear 8, Gear 9, maybe Gear 10, which should not be hard now with the accelerated gear change. You've got a pretty decent team that people are going to struggle with unless they have the right counters. So those are just a few teams, guys, that you can use with lower gear. Again, I'm not saying that you don't want to relic these things. I'm more so trying to show you that with a limited amount of gear, you can still get a lot out of these teams. Now, I would not be taking this team and trying to go beat Lord Vader if you don't have relics on them. I'm not suggesting you go and take this team against a fully relic Mon Mothma team and think that you're going to be able to get through them. It's all about understanding just what that gear can actually do for you. So that's the video, guys. Let me know what all your thoughts are down below. As always, make sure you smash that subscribe button. Leave likes, leave comments, guys. And again, we got to leave it off with our king, right? Come on, get this man at Relic 8. He wants it. He deserves it. Guys, I love all of you. May the Force be with you. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.